quite a big video today. So yeah, this blaster was recommended to me by a great friend in the community, and you know, he was saying about how that you can change a lot of stuff with this, and you can kind of make it shoot how you want to shoot, which is really what I really like about this. But you'll see in the video anyway. So I thought I'd put, disassemble, put it all back in the box and just show you how it comes. The box is okay, you don't get like the special nice box that some of them do come in where you can kind of see it all, but it's not too bad. And this is what you get on the inside. You get the manual, which is quite good. The shells with a strap for them, so you can use it as a bandolier. You can see how they load in there. Parts kit with a screwdriver, and these are quite important, so we'll go back to that. You get some quite cool darts. Some of them are loaded in there, and the rest are in my target. And then we've got some suction cup ones, which I haven't bothered to use, just because these come with so many of the blasters, and I don't really like the suction cup ones. And then you get both the halves of the blaster in bubble wrap. What's really cool is I already set up my red dot. It comes with a rail built onto here. The original M79 doesn't. I think it's the barrel slightly longer as well than the original M79, but don't quote me on that. I really like how the stock connects to this. I'll just show you that. Very, very nice high quality stock with the name stamped on there, but we will be painting over that anyway. Quite a nice base colour. It's kind of like a canvas almost, the way this blaster's coloured, which is what I like about that. And then there's grooves built into this with two little clips on each side, and you can just slide that on and it locks in, and then you've got a hole there which corresponds with this pack that you get. This screw here, you also get an O-ring and some extra screws. I don't know what those are for. You get a spare nut just in case you lose the nut for your stock. I'm guessing that's just in case if you disassemble it again. And yeah, the screwdriver as well, which is pretty nice. I'm going to keep that in the collection. And an O-ring. I don't know what the O-ring is for exactly. I have disassembled this blaster already to look at the insides of this, and I haven't seen any O-ring that corresponds with it. Done a little bit of modification to the inside of this, but it still has all of this. It's just been filled out more in this hole here. If I can put this extra light on, there you go. You can see the hole. You can zoom in on the video if you want, but you can see this hole has been enlarged slightly, and it's also been sort of curved outwards, flared. Just you'll see why at the end of the video. But yeah, this holds on there pretty good. Like, you can actually use this without putting the bolt on. You just got to be careful because it does pop out. But I do recommend putting this screw in. The only downside is I've had this blaster for about a month and this screw is already rusty. So just push the screw in on the left hand side, make sure it's lined up and it'll pop in. Hold it in, take your bolt, your nut, and just line it up with the hole in the stock. Put your thumb over that side again, then just take your screwdriver. I'm going to use the one that came with it just to see how it works, and just tighten that up like that nicely. So you get a nice rubber butt pad on the end of here, QD slot, and a front slot for a sling. And it does come with a sling. I've got to put it in the box. Very nice high quality sling. I've got it extended all the way because I'm quite a big guy, but you can actually shrink this right down. And the clasps are metal as well, and they seem to be quite high quality metal. And the strap, everything's quite high quality on this, I'm surprised, and the strap adjusts like that. If you want to make it smaller, there you can. So this has two uses. You can either use this as a sling for the blaster itself, or you can actually use it for these. Now these already come with one, so I didn't bother with that because this thing is perfectly long enough to wear the shells. You get 3 shells with it. It just slides over like this, which I might as well show you, just because it all fits quite nicely. Like that. And then you've got 3 shells ready and you can just pop them out like that, load them. You can see I've got 3 of the darts that came with it there. In this part of the video, I've only modified one of these shells. These shells do chip easily, so don't drop them. That was an accidental drop, but you can see the internal and middle part has been funneled out for a very special reason. And I need to do it with these 2 as well, which they haven't been done yet. This is just the practice shell because it already has a cracked rim. And you get 2 coloured rims. You get a silver rim and a gold rim. And I just, because I've got 2 red ones and only 1 blue one, I actually swapped. This rim was actually on the blue one, so I just swapped the rim around to the red one like that, and now I've got a blue one with a nice rim because I've only got 1 blue. But they do work perfectly fine anyway. That rim missing doesn't matter. But yeah, you can use this strap if you want for this, but it's not really needed. It's much better for the blaster itself. It gives it more of an authentic feel, and the quality of the nylon on this is actually really nice. It's around the same quality as some of the clothing brand ones that I got. And yeah, this just clips onto the front. I'll just show you the front and the back. Very high quality too, I really like it. The only thing I wish is this was an actual QD mount on the front, because I feel like if you force this too much you could actually snap it. But the back one's nice. Just slot it on like that. So yeah, the funny thing I found on the instruction manual, which is kind of ironic, like the saying goes, it's good on paper but not in reality. You see the main sling attached to the grenade sling to like make it kind of attached and also longer. Good idea on paper, but the thing is, these shells do not hold in very well. Gravity will just take over and they fall out the holder. Could be to do with the scale of it when it was made. Maybe some of them are tighter than others, but I've kind of worn mine in just enough now to where they slot in nicely, but with enough jiggling they will just fall out. So it's better to have this as its own thing. This is long enough anyway. I'm quite a tall big guy, as you guys know, and when I strap this up, you can see it still is great, still enough room, and I can drop that down there and you know, use my primary, use my secondary, and then switch back to my 3rd special weapon. Use your combat sight, which is a genuine red dot. So I really like this. I like the fact that they've kind of updated the M79 a little bit with just a Picatinny rail, because that does improve it. Some people probably assume that you use this all the time, and you don't. For close range, you use your iron sight, which is built into the front here. That is on the real one, and you line it up with your front sight on there, obviously. That's not a bad, you know, call. But this just speeds that up a little bit further. It's just a dot and you can just, you know, blam straight away. The great thing about this is it's all full size. It's not some like half scale one which I reviewed a while ago. In fact, I'll bring it out for you guys. Now I'm sure a lot of you remember the Dead Pie. It's not a bad little blaster. It looks cool. Obviously it's not full scale, but it is the mini M79. When you compare it, you can really see the size difference. You can't even get a stock weld on this. You kind of have to put it up against your shoulder and do this kind of wacky stuff. But it is nice as a pistol, and you know, it doesn't load the genuine way, it loads in the back way, but it was a lot of fun. It still is fun, and it's great just to pull this out and have this as your primary and this as a secondary. It's quite funny. And some keen eyes out there will know that I used this for an underbarrel for my 416 shell ejection blaster, which has been copied now by the guys that make the AWM, the Mastech company. They actually copied that blaster. If you go back on my videos, the HK416 shell ejection, and I also made the grenade launcher for it. Exactly the same blaster, even has the same magazines. This was great. But my blaster did break after a while, so I removed this and sort of set this up as its own thing again. But I even added weights to to the front. All the screw holes here have ball bearings in. There's one there, there's 2 in here, 2 in there, 2 in there, and there's like 200 grams of extra weight on the front. You can feel it too, and that just allows the bottom to just drop open no matter how you've got it angled. Even almost straight up it falls down, which is what I wanted it to do. It's just for speed. That's all it's for. And you can fire it. You can even fire it without the barrel if you want, and be like one of the original grenade launchers. But I never got around to doing that. But the AA Dead Pie is a cool little blaster. I still love it. I still love the design of it. It has all the same features. And it's like 100 times cheaper than this one right here, so that's the other thing. Yeah, so with this one, it's full scale and everything feels nice on it. I think the trigger is also Delrin and the catch system. There's a nice opening system on the grenades, and my grenades actually fit quite snug. Once you get it there, it's quite tight. You can't tip this out. I noticed some people's online, they could just go like that and the shell would come out. Mine doesn't, and that's with extensive use. And you can see how I loaded that straight back into there. You can see I've had a lot of practice with this thing. There you go. Sometimes it gets stuck. There you go. Yeah, I really like this. It's spring assisted as well. There is a little spring tab down there, which you can see right there, allows it to open up. Of course, there are some trades on here, which Howitzer is not the name of this. It's the M79, but the Howitzer is a tank. 40mm, that's correct. This is a 40mm, and superior performance. That's just sort of stamped over on all the AliExpress specials. The funny thing is, I found that the blue wears off on here more and more the more I use this. This will not be staying as is. Just prepare for the jump cut, and yeah, you will see something very special happen with this. Okay, so what's changed other than the colour and my beard growing bigger? Well, a couple of things, so we'll go into that. First off, I tried to get this as close as I could to more of a M79 that was treated with linseed oil, just so the water and stuff didn't expand the wood in Vietnam. Yeah, we also extended, so I have to plunk this first to open it, and then deprime it. You can see I've extended the screw that was holding the plunger head on, and this is so it actually works with one of my new things, which I'll get into now. I measured this and measured the perfect depth so it doesn't damage or wear out my shells. You can still use the original shells that I class these as the lower power shells now. And I also now can fire 40 max. Now this is nothing new, other people in the community have done this already. I just wanted to get into the 40 max stuff without buying or printing an expensive launcher. This was an expensive build in the end, but that was just because of the paint. Could have done it without it, could have left it white and stuff like you saw at the beginning of the video, but I wanted more of a true to life launcher. So these fire about 200 feet per second, these fire about 40 feet per second, so there's a big difference. You can fire all different ammo in them. We'll test that now in the firing test, so yeah, we'll stay tuned for that. But I did want to get the 40 wad shell, but I didn't get that in this video, so I will be getting that night after this, and I will be testing it and showing it and comparing it to the 40 max. But yeah, be very careful when using these. Don't point these at your face. Load the ammo first and then the gas, and keep these away from your face. I like this holder just because these sit quite deep in there and they are away from your body. If it did launch off, it would just launch off into the ground. But yeah, definitely recommend this. The most expensive part of this build was definitely these shells as well. These are nearly £40 per shell, so yeah, quite expensive for what they are, but they do work very well. I will be replacing the body with printed parts just so I can use more ammo types, but for now I'll show you what ammo types I do have and what I have been using. So yeah, let's get into it. so the full power shell, we've got one foam ball first. You can see that wasn't too accurate, that I was aiming at the top panel up there, and where I usually aim, and it landed over here near the ladder. So it wasn't the best, but to refill it, you've got to push down that little thing and fill it with gas again. Now the one thing I don't like about filling these shells is I've got an adapter, I've actually bought one, and with or without it, it still sprays gas out everywhere. It's because there's a spring obviously in this nozzle and there's a spring in here, so they kind of like cancel each other out. Does the same either way. If you guys know of any better ways to fill them up, let me know in the comments. It is quite cold today, very windy, so might not be getting the best power out of these shells, but we've got 2 balls in there now. There we go, that's what I was looking for. That actually hit where I was aiming as well, and we got the full 200 FPS, what I was expecting basically out of this. If we have to cock it before we open it, but if we open it, the shell comes straight out of there. Very, very cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. I will be doing more ammo tests in future on this. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.